Good morning, good people. So I decided that I want to do a little bit of an introduction because many of you have no clue about me or where I come from or what I've done or who I am. So let's start with my name is Imara, aka Queen B More. And why do I call myself that? First of all, let's go back to Imara. Okay, so Imara is a Swahili name, which is an African language that means strength. I used to hate my name when I was a kid. Okay, I hated it. I would come up with all kind of versions of a nickname that people could call me if they felt so inclined, but none of them really stuck. So because it was ridiculous. I am Imara, like that's just who I am. So anyway, growing up in Baltimore, I was born in Pittsburgh. That's another thing. I was born actually in Pittsburgh. And I moved here to Baltimore when I was 3 years old. I'm looking for my right brushes to start my makeup. Hold on. Gotta pick a palette for the day, which is going to be this Morphe Natural Flirt that has a lot of great pinks in it. And since I've got on, I love pink. I love pink. Purple is my ultimate favorite color because for one, it's my birthstone. And for two, I think it's the color, well, I don't think, I know it is the color of royalty because royalty used to actually pay a lot just to obtain the color purple. Believe it or not, it's not just a movie. A good movie at that I've seen many, many times. The first version, not the second version. Second version was a good adaptation. It was a musical. It was different. Needless to say, good nonetheless. But the first one, baby, that's my Bible. Like when I say it's my Bible, not something that I live by, but it's like a go-to movie. When I would just want to get back to reality. Because there's a lot of reality in that movie, when you want to look at your life compared to how it could be. Baby, watch The Color Purple. The first one. Not the second one. There's the second one too, but the first one for real. The Whoopi Goldberg one. The Oprah, you told Harpo to beat me version. That one. Baby. Ain't nothing like it. So, anyway. Yeah, Alice Walker did her big one on The Color Purple. I've actually read some other books because there was a continuation of The Color Purple where it goes over to Africa and they find her children and it explores her relationship, the relationship between her children and how they ended up and her coming back together and forming that bond again. So that was actually a good book. I can't remember what it's called. I gotta find out, but it goes along with The Color Purple, written by Alice Walker. It's like a follow-up to The Color Purple. It was actually a good book. I gotta find out what that thing is called. So anyway, like I was saying, now another thing, I am a lady of a certain age. And as you get older, let me teach you something, young ladies. You will go through some hormonal changes. And as you go through these hormonal changes, you will see changes in your body. Biological changes begin to take place, honey. Like, for instance, every time I would get pregnant, my eyes would get bad. I have 2 biological sons and 1 bonus son, okay, that I'm very close with. They all still live with me, despite all their ages. But anyway, that's a story for another day. However, yeah, what was I saying now? See, that's what I'm saying. Women at a certain age, you start to lose your memory a little bit as you go through these hormonal changes. Now, it could come back. as your hormones reroute and everything. But I would lose every time I would get pregnant. That's what I was saying. Every time I would get pregnant, my eyesight would get bad. Every single time. It never failed, right? So, but as soon as I would deliver, it go right back to being good again. Every single time. But I did have honorable mention. I did have my first son, Geronimo, was actually stillborn. I went 32 weeks with him. And I kind of still feel like, he's a big part of our lives, because my husband actually played in the NFL. And at the time he was playing. And I noticed that he wasn't moving. And I had an appointment on that Tuesday. And like my husband could never go to the doctors with me because he had to work. And one thing about NFL players, they don't get no days off. They get Tuesday off. That's it. During the season, you don't get to take off. You don't get to call on work and be like, yeah, I don't feel good today, coach. I'll see you next time. No, you don't get that. You don't get to like punch in and say, I want to take a day off. Doesn't work like that. You got to be there every day. You ain't there, they fining you. And it's going to mess up your chances of playing. So, I just put the wrong color on the wrong brush. So sorry. Because they got these little things at the Dollar Tree. You can get from the Dollar Tree. That'll take it right off. Take your makeup right on off. Take that product right back off that brush. Boom. Just like that. I was actually looking for this one. Okay. To do the corners. All right. So, yeah, he had the day off on that next Tuesday. So I kind of like waited, and I had this little Doppler that I could listen to his heartbeat myself at home. And yeah, I couldn't hear anything. And I got my husband. I'm like, do you hear anything? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm listening for. But anyway, long story short, we went to the doctors on that Tuesday. And I guess I had a feeling, really, but I didn't want to believe it. And they told me that he was no longer with us. And yeah, then they gave him some days off. He took some days off then, and he didn't play. He took a week off, actually, because he didn't play. I don't think he took that whole week. I take that back. But he didn't play that week. They had an away game, I think, against the Cardinals. And I remember the announcer, who was my mentor at the time, saying, I don't know if he was the announcer, but I remember the announcer saying, I don't know what, they say he had a death in the family, but I don't know who died because they don't usually give you off. So the Ravens knew what happened. Some of the and most of the higher ups, the executives at the Ravens knew, but all of the players didn't know, and certainly not all of the staff. So yeah, we had to go to the hospital, and I actually had to deliver him. If you've ever dealt with this, that baby has to come out of you some kind of way. So you have to go to the hospital and deliver the baby. And it was really heart-wrenching for us because like people were recognizing my husband, and they're like, oh man, like, you having a baby? I'm having a baby too. Like, congratulations. And I remember my husband just being like, and I still get emotional. It's been 25 years now. 24, because it was in December of 2000. So it always confuses me because it turned a new year like right after that. But yeah, it was December 13th of 2000. Well, anyway, I have two beautiful biological sons now. I already had my JJ. He was already in the picture. because he's obviously from my husband's previous relationship. And I met JJ when he was 3 months old, and he's been in my life ever since. He ain't going nowhere. He don't even want to move. Anyway, that's a whole other story. My biological kids say I'm afraid of him. They think I baby him too much. But I don't know. It's difficult, navigating bonus children, because you don't want to overstep boundaries. You want to be, cognizant of their feelings. There's going to be some kind of feelings because they're not the biological child, so it can be difficult. I'm never going to tell anybody that raising bonus children is easy. Just isn't. Relationships are never easy to navigate. Period. It takes time, energy, and patience, and a lot of God in your life. Okay? And I thank God every day that I've been through the things that I've been through in my life, and that I was able to be here for him, because it's a tricky situation. But that's a story for another day. So anyway, what's next? What should we talk about next? So, yeah, like I said, I have 2 beautiful sons now. Out of curiosity, if you're watching this, tell me how you navigate your relationships with your bonus children, if you have any, or, the dynamics in your family, how that works for you, because, hey, I'll take any advice from anybody. If it's good. If it ain't, I'll listen. Don't mean I'm going to do it, though. So, anyway, yeah. I guess I skipped over a lot of stuff, right? Because I know you're probably like, well, wait. You grew up in Baltimore and then you got married and had kids? It's never that easy, right? Life ain't never just that simple. I mean, maybe for somebody. Not us, and certainly not me. But, clearly, after my parents divorced, they separated when I was 5 and got divorced a little later after that, and each got remarried and had subsequent children through those marriages. So I have 4 brothers whom I love dearly. I've been instrumental in raising them because I am 10 years older than the oldest of my brothers. So I'm the oldest and the only girl. So you can imagine how that has been. I've been everybody's babysitter. Everybody's babysitter. I was making bottles, baby, at a young age. At like 10, 11 years old, I was making bottles. Now here come my youngest son, busting through my door. I hear him already, stomping. Is he knocking? I don't know. I'll try to edit that part out. I'm recording. Anyway, as long as he don't get my Frenchies riled up, I can keep on going. What are you doing? I have it locked. It's locked. Try to keep your asses out of here, but they don't hear me though. Unless that's the dog. That could be the male Frenchie. I gotta lock his behind out because him and my oldest girl don't get along whatsoever. Well, I'm recording. So anyway, I'm just doing my story time now. Now he made me forget what I was talking about. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now y'all gotta stick with me here because I realize I'm like jumping in and out in this timeline. Cause listen, bear with me here. I'm going off the cuff, okay? I ain't planning on this. I just was like, look, girl, get the recording. And it was like, it would take me too long to write an outline and then follow the outline and all that other stuff. And so, hey, I'm keeping it real, going off the cuff. This is me. So anyway, yeah, I raised my 4 brothers. I mean, I didn't raise them, of course. They had parents, but, you know, I was instrumental in raising them. Yeah, I was, like I said, making bottles at a young age. And I think that because I, you know, was so hands-on with them, that when I got with my husband, because I knew my husband years before we actually got into a relationship. We knew we were attracted to each other for some time, but he was still in this relationship with his son's mother, and I did not want to interfere with that. I wanted him to be free and clear of that when he made a decision, you know, to be, you know, enter into something with me. You know, I ain't no man stealer. I've gotten that rap before, but I'm not. I ain't never stole nobody, man. Well, maybe once. But he obviously won hers. That was 9th grade. He obviously won hers because he wasn't hard to take. But I didn't know nothing about her at first. Like, well, like I knew they were dating. I found out they were dating later on. And he and I ended up dating for years after that. So anyway, like I said, he obviously wasn't hers to save. So back to my husband, the love of my life, though, who is really the love of my life. You ever been in a relationship and you look back and you're like, I thought I loved them fools. I ain't love them fools. Because I ain't feel like this. I ain't do all this with them that I do with him. You know what I mean? Like, I realized that I really am in love with my husband. And although I may have had love for those relationships, I wasn't really in love with them. Sorry. But I wasn't. You know, I realize that now. Because I can look back and I'm like, it ain't like I have any kind of desire to be with any of them now. My husband and I have been together now for a long time. So I really feel like it was our destiny. Because it was like crazy how when, you know, we met, like I said, wasn't going, I was like, dude, why you got your ringer off all the time? You keep your ringer off all the time. But he would always call me right back. Like when he would see that light flash and he heard my message, boom, he would call me right back. Well, anyway, once he got drafted to Baltimore, he was in Baltimore, you know, all the time now, and we kept running into each other, and they were on the outs, which happens a lot. Why is it that people can't seem to stay together in a relationship when they're expecting a baby? Like, a lot of times, if they're not married, they tend to break up before they even had a baby. You notice that? I noticed that. I've seen so many instances of people who are dating someone, get pregnant, and next thing you know, before the baby's even born, they're broken up. Child. I think that's because there's no real commitment to be together. You know, because you need more than kids to stay together. Kids ain't gonna keep no man. I got news for any woman. You having a baby bomb, that ain't gonna keep him. If a man really want to be with you, he gonna be with you. And I mean, and that's proof. Like, I know this because I done been through it. Like, my husband and I have been dating, I mean, like, from the beginning of our relationship, it's been over 20 years. I don't tell my age no more. And I don't want to tell it. But I'm saying this. Put it this way. I've been with my husband for over 20 years. In some form or fashion. because we did break up for a while, you know, but we were always in each other's lives. There was like never a time, maybe like a couple months. Like I tried to get away from him and I moved to Atlanta for 6 months. That didn't work. I was pregnant with my youngest son. He was calling me every day. Like when I tried not to talk to him and he would call me every single day. But so we were in each other's lives no matter what. You know, for every major event, I still was there, you know, with him. Now, you may ask, what led to our breakup, right? Well, young and dumb, period. Like, first of all, again, I was married to a whole NFL player we got married, I think, when I was 23. 23 years old. 23. I can't. My oldest biological son is almost 23. I can't imagine. I can't imagine him being married right now. I don't know if it's just like the times, like the date. These days, people are waiting longer to get married. I don't know what the situation, how it's changed, but a lot of my friends got married young. I have one friend, she waited, and she's in a great relationship, you know, great space in her relationship. And she waited to have kids. I instinctively always wanted to be married. Like when I would look at my relationships, when I would date men, I would think, can I marry this guy? Like I was never like in my now of course not some dude I'm just going on a date with, but like if I was in a relationship, it was always like with the plan to get married. Like, are we going, you know, like what's the plan? Are we gonna have a future together? Can I have a future with this person? You know, it never was like I had my whole life mapped out by the time I was 16. And I pretty much manifested most of it. I mean, I'm still on my journey. I don't think you ever stop growing, you know, but yeah, like I manifested that shit. Cause I was like, I knew the type of man I wanted to marry. Like I had to really look inside of myself. And I was like, girl, I don't know about you. I said this young. I remember this. That I was like, because you don't really you gotta have a successful man because you're gonna be successful. And I always believe that like things go alike. Always remember that. Like that is a rule of thumb. If you don't remember anything else I told you, remember that I said like things go together. Like things go alike. That's what my grandmother will always say. And I think that's true. I think that's absolutely true. So I don't think that, you know, I think that you throw off gender norm. I think that gender norm lines are really blurred when you have situations where like the wife is more successful than the husband. That's my opinion. And I stick to it. And I believe that, you know, because I don't think that's necessarily, I don't say like God said a man gotta be in control of everything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is a way that God intended for us to live our lives. And I think that the human nature in a man is for him to be dominant. And when he's not, there's a problem. I don't care if he's a gay man. He's still going to want to be dominant over, you know, in a relationship. With a woman, at least. In a relationship. Which is gotta be difficult for gay men. Gotta be difficult for gay men. Like people who think that like being gay is necessarily a choice, I don't believe that. Why would you choose to have all those types of issues that you face every single day of your life? Why would you choose that? I think that, yeah. So that's another story, another topic for another day. But I do not think that being gay is a choice. Anyway, like I was saying. But back to what I was saying about, I don't think that people in a relationship, that the female should necessarily, they can make more money, but you gotta allow your husband, to be a man. You gotta allow your husband to still be a man. I don't care if he does make less money. Allow him to be the man in that household. Because if you don't, and it takes a secure man, don't get me wrong, it takes a secure man to even be with a woman who makes more money than him. It takes a secure and rational man. And I promote that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he gotta make more money than her. I'm never gonna say that. But what I'm saying is, you still gotta let that man be a man. You still gotta make that man feel like a man, no matter what. Because if you don't, you're going to build resentment. I know there may be times that, like right now, my husband hasn't played in several years. And so, of course, finances have changed. It's not going to stay the same when your income is, dropped significantly, period. And maybe times that my income for that year may be higher than his. I don't give a damn. I still make that man feel like, he is king around here. Because when you don't, you're going to build resentment. So we all make choices in life, though. That's what you got to understand. You have the right to make a choice. You don't got to listen to what I'm telling you. And that's perfectly fine. You ain't got to hear what I'm saying. You ain't got to believe me. You ain't got to take my advice. That's for sure, because you have a choice. But you gotta be able to live with that choice. That's the most important part. You can't live with your choices, you gonna be one upset person. Period. So I try not to make hasty decisions, for one. And I try not to do anything that I can't live with for the rest of my life. This little ponytail thing. Woo, child. I did a review on the Love Me wig. I'll post that later. This is a Love Me lace front wig that I'm wearing. It's supposed to be a lot of rain. I don't wear my own hair in the rain. It ain't happening, catting. So I don't even bother. Because for what? It's just being a ponytail. So, because my hair don't last in no rain. I need to do one day. It's such a touchy subject. People often say, you got good hair, you ain't got to worry about that. What is good about it? Tell me. What's good about it? I mean, it's maybe more fine. It may be, than 4C, But for me, 4C is good because it lasts in a style longer. Isn't it good when you go to you pay your money to get your hair done and you can see it last on your head in that pretty style for as long as you wanted to, or for a good week or so? Who wants to pay their money at a salon, go outside, it's humid out, there go your daggone hairstyle? Who want to do that? What's good about that? Really? That has always, amazed me. What we call good hair. Yeah. Things don't always have to be perfect. Sometimes just do it. Be like Nike. Just do it. Which, that's a whole other topic for another day. I do want to get more into that. But be like Nike and just do it. So anyway, I'm almost done. Here. Last little touch-ups. I started really working on my makeup. I just decided, I think what happened was COVID. So during COVID, I'm like, why am I wearing makeup when you can't even see it? We gotta wear masks. What you looking at, you know? So, and I didn't know how to do eyeshadow at the time. I always would have to get my makeup done to have really good eyeshadow. So, what I did was I looked up a few tutorials and I just started going from there. Because I was like, if I'm going to do my makeup, I want you to see something, you know, see something that I did. So, you know, I started learning how to do eyeshadow. And voila. Yeah. So and it's been going from there. I'm going to finish with my Morphe setting spray. I love this stuff. I really like the other one. Where is it? Oh, this one. This one I use, like I'll use it periodically a lot of times, especially if I'm going somewhere nice. I'll use this one periodically. You know, like I'll set my face, use it. Then I'll do my eyeshadow and my blush. I use it again, you know. Or like if I contour, use it again. But it's probably the same shit in the same can, for real. They just package it differently. But in my mind, it's different. This stuff feels so good on your face, though. Like, I ain't lying. Like, when I spray it, it's like you feel the instant moisture on your face. I always get a lot of product on the edges of my wigs, though. That's what I hate when I wear wigs, is that the makeup around the hairline tends to get on it. So anyway, this video is coming to a close. I am almost done here. My work is done for the day. Oh, I gotta finish adding the lipstick. Now, I have all kind of makeup, which that's another thing. I don't just stick to one. Like, I don't have all Morphe. Like, I love Morphe brushes. I love Morphe palettes. Like, their colors. Like, I love the pigments that they have and how they just shine on my skin. I mean, like how they are just brilliant on my skin. I love the Morphe colors. And but I do use different lipsticks also. I use cheap blushes, like very inexpensive blushes. I like these, the Nicka K. I have a lot of these. I like these. They're getting better with their pigments, actually. I just haven't seen the value in buying expensive blushes. Maybe one day I will. Haven't gotten there yet. But I do like the Maybelline 24-Hour Stay lipsticks. The pigments aren't the best with these. So I tend to mix them up with different stuff. You know, I like to use them. So I'll put it underneath maybe. And then by the time you put it, like this is a matte pencil, of course. I love a Currant or Night Moth. Love them. Love those colors. They just seem to go with everything I have also. But this Maybelline 24-Hour Stay, the only thing is like paint. Child, you had to peel this mess off sometimes. But it will stay. Maybe not 24 hours, but it will stay. So I'm going to take that. And then I got this free, really nice color with Clinique. Because I use Clinique products, facial products, face wash, and moisturizers. Baby, if you don't do nothing else, you better moisturize. If you want to retain that youthful glow, you better moisturize. I'm trying to tell you. It took me years to start moisturizing. But, yeah. Oh, man. I just broke my favorite lipstick. They gonna make me hit the buy this. Because I love these two together. I learned this trick. that you can put like a lighter lipstick in the middle, and it gives this nice little ambiance, like the way the color goes. So I've been doing that. You should try it. I'm telling you. It'll make your lips look like really sexy. See? And then, child, Mac done put their glass in a tube now. I mean, in a stick. From the tube to the stick. So I'm just going to put a little bit right there. And it's a plumping, girl. And it plumps too, allegedly. Hey, see? In my phone now. All right. How's that? Okay. And then we're just going to finish with a setting powder. I got my Morphe setting powder. This is the Banana Rich. I love a good banana powder. Yeah, I love a good banana powder. And these were on sale for $9. You know how much, like, oh my gosh. Some banana powders, I've seen like $60. Ain't no way. I won't be buying it at all. So, anyway. Yeah, just like that. You just want to apply it to your face and to your, especially your trouble areas, your T-zones, things like that. I have not been able to find eyebrow makeup that really looks best on me. They're either too light or too dark. So I like to go, you know, just pat it with the banana powder to bring it down a notch and make it look better for my skin color. But, and one thing I tend to forget that I don't know why. Oh, I probably because I used to wear lash extensions, but I don't anymore because I just don't want to have to go through being, as my husband called me, well, he didn't call me. He just said people, you know, are bald-a-lash. He's like, you don't want to be bald-a-lash. I'm like, I can't with him. What is a bald-a-lash? But I get it. And it did take a while for my eyelashes to grow back after the lash extension. Now, I will go, you know, to the nail salon and get them to put some lashes on for me every once in a while because I can, you know, get those off a lot easier. I don't have to break my lashes off just to get them off. Or I will try to put some strips on. I can halfway do it. And after you finish all that, last but not least is a good mascara. Now, I found some good ones. Now, I'll tell you, where is that? Baby. This right here is called Thrive. It's made by Thrive. And the only place that I found Thrive was on the Shop app. Yeah. But, and it's $25 for one, so it's not cheap. But this right here, which I'm running out of, so I only like to use it on special occasions, is really good. Thrive. But from day to day, I do use the MAC Stack mascara because it is stackable, so you can, you know, go over it for a longer, thicker look if you want. Put a little on or a lot, depending on the look you want to achieve. And the good thing about life is it's all about you and what you want to do with it. Opportunities are limitless. Remember that. So, life is what you make it, baby. I hope you enjoy my little story time and come back for more. Have a great day. Be blessed and prosperous.